Hey, Brento here. I know a better sounding mic may make you uncomfortable, but running human experiments is a pastime of mine. Okay. Um, yeah, we're back at it here. You may have noticed my microphone sounds different, and I finally got this Blue Yeti thing to work. And long story short, you need G-Hub installed, or as far as I know, this thing cannot work. I relied on the Windows driver options and the settings, and there's a lot of sound options in Windows, and as long as I don't touch any of those settings, it seems to work. I might still tweak it a bit episode to episode. Again, I'm not a sound engineer here, and I don't really have too much time to be too precise with my audio. Once you have G-Hub installed, it comes with built-in filtering and stuff. I think the biggest mistake I made when I first bought it was going to the forums, going to Reddit, and getting information off the internet how to set it up. It turns out that not listening to any other people's advice was the correct thing to do. To just, I actually saw some forum posts that suggested not to install Logitech's G-Hub with this, that it causes problems or something. My guess is someone installed it. The software then put the correct drivers in, and then they had some other issues, and then they uninstalled it, but the drivers must have been remaining configured or something. Because as far as I can tell, this microphone won't work without Logitech G-Hub. I guess I could clip this out as a bit of a continuation from my Blue Yeti review. I guess, what do you think of the sound? Is this better? Is it worse? I think it sounds better. I think there's some I've been running some tests with background noise and stuff. There is actually background noise right now. And like my fan's a bit loud on the computer, and I was just quiet for a second there, and you couldn't hear it, which I could see that it wasn't picking it up. And it just does that automatically. I don't have to install noise suppression and noise gates and all these so-called expert moves for OBS. Turns out playing around with that stuff only made stuff worse. I guess this is a bit of a mic test this episode too. But again, the previous mic was not perfect either. So now we're at the point where unobvious problems are going to get us. So before I go into too many rants here, yes, and I got some interesting rants and some interesting topics for today's show. Some propaganda in today's show. Some literal propaganda, like real propaganda later in the episode. But let's, before we get too far, let's get caught up on the world. So I have played a little bit between episodes here. Let's just run it. Well, we'll probably get into winter for much of this episode. Let's start off, from Russia here. So, and make our way around. What's going on over here? This highway, it's still being built. I'm thinking once it's built, we'll start working on asphalting this. I already got some service roads set up parallel, so I think we'll make that into asphalt next. I want to set up a big Chinese construction office here. That will help build things in this region. Maybe either the biggest or the second biggest one. We might start working on that too once this is done, because I have the asphalt truck, the asphalt machine is currently being repaired. So maybe it's worth pausing on asphalt roads for a little bit here. But our road from China here is still in progress. And I think we'll go up asphalt up to here, to this road here, and then after that, as needed, because it's getting kind of into Dump City proper, and it's not quite warranting asphalt yet. I was actually thinking once the asphalt plant here is built, we could start building asphalt from this side, because then I think it'd be cheaper if we're using our own asphalt. The city of Los Angeles still remains highly dead. Everyone's, this is like the third winter now, and I'm not going to drag people into into LA for this winter. Like, there's no point in bringing them into the city during winter, because then all you got to do is provide heat, and it's just a waste of money because they're not going to be happy enough. I've paused the cathedral here. It's almost ready. I'm concerned in case a fire or something happens and we don't have enough firefighters on hand, that something goes wrong. I want all these buildings to finish at the same time. So the mall's being built here. We could start this one here, the LA Sports Hall. You'll notice I call this Eastern Bloc. So I was reading up on popular LA malls, and there's a mall called the Bloc. So I thought, why not have, in Soviet LA, have the Eastern Bloc? We'll see how that goes. I think we'll keep our universities from getting built those are a little lower priority because we don't even have basic schools ready. But these are all enabled to be built. The school, the kindergarten, and the hospital, they're all queued up. We don't need police yet. Again, we have no people in the city, so not much crime can happen. I've also kind of like fixed up the roads a little bit. Like this road here, I kind of finalized some of these roads here. Oh, and I think this is pretty cool. I thought I should have did this as part of the recording, because I know this is kind of enjoyable to watch, but I made this a road that goes right along the shoreline here. Like, remember our train line? We were going to run around the front here, and then we said, nah. I thought, I want to see if we get a road in there, and we can. So I think we'll make that like an asphalt road at some point. It's hard to get around the lake, like from Dump City into this side, without this road here, right? If this is a high-speed road, that'll move our cars quite a bit faster. Like our gravel freeway isn't, like, it's not a real LA freeway. So in terms of the capacity of cars it'll be able to move, we probably will need this as well as an asphalt road. And then the nice thing about it here too is it will connect to our bus stop. So we could set some sort of express route. This is kind of it picks up a few people that goes around here and goes into Dump City, or vice versa. Maybe there's some houses in Dump City and they can take some transit into here. We'll set up, it gives us a few interesting routing options. Let's just check if there's anything new out here that I haven't gone over. Oh yeah, I've cleaned up the roads in this area here around our warehouse. So we have in the last episode, we set up our local distribution office that moves things out of warehouses to specific buildings. And we had set up this China Discount Supplies, which has big vehicles that are constantly supplying the warehouses. So they're chain distribution offices. Like here we got our 30-ton capacity flatbed truck, right? I also got here another US, I think I bought this between episodes. I have two of them now. I found two on sale. Some are just like, I have a route that's just automatically delivering to the warehouses too, because this thing can't keep up. And then I have a little gas supply truck here that puts gas in the gas stations along the route here. We got another gas station here. Some permanent gas stations being set up. This one's still not empty. I hope someone uses that last bit of gas. It's just such a pain. I don't know how to. Maybe I'll empty it out between episodes. It's good to have a few. Like, I think all our free gas stations are used up, so it's good to have a few available for emergencies. Yeah, that's sort of the status of things in the world today. Again, I just want to get us accelerated, and I want to improve the quality of life in LA as we, head towards the day they start moving back in. So what I actually want to do in this episode is just kind of clean up and maybe come up with some final decisions on roads. Like roads kind of, I guess much like real cities, they kind of evolve into a logical place. Like here, you see this road here? This changed between episodes. In fact, because we have gravel to get to this gas station here, I'm going to clean this up right here because we know they'll use that. Eventually, they'll use this bridge, and this other gravel road will get used later. But it's just kind of the logical way I felt it should have went. I added a path here too. It's like a walking path to the houses. If you're not familiar, I haven't gone into too much detail of this, but walking paths, I don't know if you can see that, but you see the walking speed 50, 87, 95, and 100%. The higher speed your walking path, the wider range they can walk to. I don't know if they'll be able to walk to the cathedral at this distance, but maybe, like if we have enough asphalt. Some of these paths might become final. Maybe we could work on that a bit too in conjunction with roads. I'm also considering the possibility that maybe this is it. There is no roads in this block here, and we'll just put a bunch of apartment buildings and or a factory in this area, or maybe some other amenity that the city could use. We do have some gaps in places. Like here, this might be all apartment buildings. I'm not sure yet. And then with some offline play, maybe the next episode, maybe they'll start moving in. But I don't want it to just one day, hey, look, everything's working in LA, and it's like 2 years past and you didn't see what happened, right? Because what kind of a story is that? Okay, well, let's get into various topics here. Oh yeah, I just want to. Here's a random rant. I can't go too long without doing rants. If I go too long without doing a rant, you'll stop watching, right? But I also can't rant right away, because if I rant, some episodes I just ranted for like an hour before the show, like I did a single update in the city. And the problem with that is if you're just listening to the rants, then you're done. You don't have to watch the rest of the show. You're just like, well, I don't want to watch the video gaming part. So that's why I got to mix them up a little bit, I think. So this is just a quick one. So I was watching Elon Musk play Path of Exile hardcore on a plane. It was an Asmongold stream, and he was reacting to Elon Musk playing Path of Exile 2 on a plane, and you could see it said connection test. And see, I'm no genius here, but if Elon Musk wants to test the connection of something that if you're testing something, like a microphone or something, why would you be doing hardcore mode? Like, what is and yeah, spoiler alert, he gets a lag spike and he disconnects, and some random level 1 zombie killed him. And it was like, why play hardcore? Like, it's okay, I've gamed my whole life, and you probably have too. And why are you playing hardcore? Like, I play Path of Exile. I've never wanted to play hardcore. I'm a more notable gamer than you are, Elon. Like, I've legitimately been like top ranked, without assistance, and I wouldn't play hardcore. Like, I imagine if you've played the regular mode so much, you eventually, get neurotic and then you go into hardcore. But I don't think you've played regular so much that you're ready for hardcore. So just play regular. Enjoy the basic game. Like, I would, I would lose it if like imagine like if I had like a level 70 character and just some internet connection issue, and I don't have the best internet here in Canada. It's internet here is a monopoly, and they my I've had constant internet issues, and to have um, a character die in hardcore mode, it seems insane. Like, why play hardcore mode? Just play regular. Just play regular, okay? That's it. It's just I'd be much more interested in regular mode because then, I've not even played Path of Exile 2. I've played Path of Exile. I made two characters. I got them into like 95 and 92. So I played a character that was not solo self-found. I got it to level 95, but that's partly because I was in groups and stuff. And but solo self-found, I got up to 92 normal. Okay, so no trading. If you can do that, Elon, that's like you're a better gamer than me. Just solo self-found regular. And I actually really enjoyed solo self-found regular more than the trading, because I found when I was trading and stuff, I'm like a min-maxing numbers and I'm not playing the game as much and not having as much fun. I'm trading too much. So I found that it was more enjoyable just to, basic game features and not worry about the group stuff and not worry about the actual trading. I just found it more pleasant. Again, I just started playing the game a year ago, and I know the game had been out for a long, long time. So I'm getting my money's worth out of it. Like I know, maybe I suspect you're marketing the game a little bit. I know you got some business in China, and I know Tencent is probably an ally of yours. But just say, come on, man. I just want to play normal. I don't want to do hardcore. Let's just play normal. Let's play. And I'd be just as interested either. I can't watch honestly. Hardcore I find harder to watch because it's like it's a little difficult. It's uncomfortable. Oh, there's something else I want to do here. I noticed this between episodes. I'm going to hit pause just in case it disappears. There was some tower cranes on sale here. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Now, I'm not sure if our vehicles can carry these. Okay, why is level 80 and level 105? Look at that. That's a level 105. We're going to need a special truck for it, though. That's the problem. But I think we should get another one of these because our other one's in use. And I know it really, like, we're building a lot of towers right now. And this will significantly lower the demand for workers. 16 meters. It's shorter and better. Shorter and better. It's more expensive, but yeah, let's do it. Okay, now we'll figure out what trucks can actually move it. Only one of them. Ugh. I thought the other one could. Okay. Okay. I don't think... Okay, let's check. Oh, that's going to show me Russian tanks or trucks too. Okay. Do we have one of those? Oh, there's one on sale. Ooh. What is this? I think that's the deal. 13,959. It seems pretty cheap. Okay. Okay, we got it. We got it. We did it. Okay, let's load it up. And let's see if we can just load it directly onto the vehicle. Is that it there? No, we might have to make a route. I don't think it's on it. Let's, no, that's the wrong vehicle. Let's just drag it into let's do it the regular way. We'll make it, you can't, see the tricky thing is when I'm doing this show, I can't stop talking. When I have to think, I'm like, oh God, oh God. People see me thinking. That's, I'm losing viewers. I'm losing viewers. Okay, where's our... Okay, no, it's not on there. Okay, but what we can do is go there, and we will load vehicles. This is how you do it. Load vehicles. And can we add a stop here? Yeah, we can. And we can unload there. And then we can set that like that. And then we can go, yes, that should go there. It should turn around at next available opportunity. Pick up our 105 construction tower. And yeah, we could get that, like, that will speed up these projects a lot. Like, I think it was worth it. We're spending US dollars, we're going into debt, but I think it was worth it. Let me just check here. Or our steel, like our open haul truck from China is not keeping up. It cannot produce steel fast enough. We're selling some of this too to the US or to Canada because we're trying to deal with our fiscal issues here, right? I have to wonder if anyone's watching the series, if they just started playing, you know, Workers and Resources. Like, it's called Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. So my guess is the sequel would be something like Workers and Resources Chinese something. So I think you'd have to, I think China would be a logical sequel to it. And, you know, just don't forget the freeway builder. Just don't forget the road builder. Because that, like, objectively, China has a lot of freeways. At a certain point in their history, they became just as proficient, if not more proficient, than Americans at building freeways. So it would stand to reason there'd be better. Like, this makes sense that this would be your freeway options in 1965 Soviet Republic, but I think for a sequel, if fans have any say, I don't know, comment too. If you're in the comments would like to see that too, mention it, right? Because I think that, you know, how are they going to know? If you don't say anything, you know, if you don't say anything about microphone drivers not working by default in Windows, it never works. No one, they just have no motivation to fix it. It's, but maybe by the time you see this video, the Blue Yeti will work perfectly in Windows. They'll get a hold of Logitech and say, hey, how come the drivers we install without G-Hub don't work in Windows? Why there's so many problems? Like, I was having my, the mic would shut down, my speakers would shut down, and I mean, it would cause such a conflict that when I went to select a different like speaker device, the list was empty, or the items were missing, and I couldn't even select the microphone. I had to restart the machine in order to try it again, which is insane. The filtering didn't work with OBS. Maybe the basic sound quality was okay, like in a quick mic test. The microphone test was about the only thing that worked with, and you know, that's probably all they test. It's like, well, did the microphone test work? Okay, it's all good to go. Have fun, configure it in OBS, and go produce your show. But no, it didn't work, and it wasn't just OBS. It was just I could do some other things. I could be watching a YouTube video, and then my audio just stopped working. I'm like, what? I wasn't even recording anything. That's how bad it was until I installed G-Hub. But it's been pretty much flawless, and I've had seen no other issues with G-Hub. It's been just operating quietly in the background, doing its thing, and no complaints about that. But as for why the software that it was required to operate wasn't there in the first place, like, I was up till well into the night trying to get it to work with Windows. And the other issue is it's a used Blue Yeti because I'm very poor. So I got this little card with it. It said to install Sherpa, right? And I'm like, okay, what's Sherpa? It doesn't even mention, like, there's no mention of G-Hub, right? So I'm not aware of, it was only through osmosis, well, people not recommending G-Hub that I even knew about it. Like in Reddit and Microsoft forums, they're like, oh, G-Hub. I'm like, what is that? I never heard of it because none of the documentation I got with this mic mentioned it. But it was required to work. And it's not that old. Like, this isn't a 20-year-old technology. Come on. You know? Check out the last episode of Engineered Obsolescence to give you the breakdown of what's going on here. It's, you know, they just want you to buy a different mic. And I was about to. It almost worked until that was my last gasp was G-Hub. If G-Hub didn't work, I wouldn't be using this microphone right now. I took a chance on it, and it was against what I was reading. People were not recommending it. So, oh, hold on. Where's our truck here? We were delivering our tower. Is it still going back and forth? No. Where did it go? Because we want to park that truck in that building too. It looks like it was getting some gas or something. Well, you know where it's going to go now? It's going to go to the construction office. And actually, you know what? No, it's going to go. We're going to send it to China. We're going to send this guy to China. He's the second biggest one we got. And we need more steel. More steel. Okay, we get rid of that. And we'll go here. Remember I said how it's always a good idea to have these depots? Like, just because it lets you sort things. It's like those puzzles where you slide the thing around. And you always want to have that empty space. Think of these depots as your empty space while you sort through things. Because I think we'll move this. Actually, you know what? If this guy's got all the gas stations full, let's see if... Oh, okay, we can blow this one up. Good. Let's move them over here. And we'll put... Because we are really low on steel here in our open storage. And we don't want to pay for American steel. We want high quality Chinese steel. That's just how it works in this game, okay? You want to learn about economics? Well, you can learn some principles, I think, in this show. As for applied actual, I don't know. Maybe it is, you know, maybe Chinese steel is better. I really don't know. I imagine there's probably not too much difference, but it's such a heavy thing. It seems to make no sense to want to export it. It seems like it's something you should produce domestically and not sell it, if possible. What's this guy doing? He's got all this steel, and he's... Okay, what's he... Yeah, no. We'll send them to... We're going to send them directly to the depot here. Oh yeah, just a minor thing. I changed some game settings here. People were always like complaining about freezing and being unhappy or being sick. So I figured out the best way to deal with that when people are complaining about that in this game is you just go into settings and you go into warning messages. Like, see? This is how you deal with citizens complaining with things. You uncheck. Then you don't have to hear their complaints. That's the solution. It's the quick pro tip on how to deal with unhappy citizens in Soviet Republic. Don't forget that tip. Very essential. Then you get only the essential things like, you know, and Okay, this is essential. This is essential. There's a new... I want to get one of these. Because it's a way better logging truck than the ones that are here. And then we can move one of these out of here. Because this doesn't need to be here. It's 70% bigger than the next biggest one. The ones we're using right now use 4 tons each. They're pathetic. So I think it's worth getting this new. And we'll send this guy to the construction office. Maybe we'll send him to the Chinese construction office even. So once he unloads here, and then we'll get our yes. So now we have a proper logging truck, which just got invented. All right, let's see how that does. Okay, let's check out our getting steel. We're having major steel issues with. Actually, you know what? Let's build our construction office here. We got to do some stuff in this episode, right? We're not just maintaining things. Let's do it. Let's plan a long-term plan here, and this will serve San Jose, San Francisco, Houston, and this whole zone will get anything that's being built in this region. Let's build a construction office. Do you want to do the big one? Should we do the big one? What's chat gotta say? It's maybe not the big one. Big one's pretty big. Maybe the second biggest one. Just cause who builds the second biggest one? You know what logic is there in that? I think this here. Maybe a little further back. It's got electricity there, right? This serves a wide area. Yeah, I think so. Always think about things, right? Pause before you build. So we made a permanent decision here. This is back a little bit, so if we put another, if we double up the highway around here, or we put let's say we put a local gravel road to service, maybe it comes and connects this way, and this becomes an interchange. It allows for some form of interchange here. But right now we're using 2 construction offices, right? So, and they're full. We're already using 8, and I could use up more if the spots were available. I don't want to go a full 24 here because it would be kind of inefficient. It's not in the city. That's the thing. This is at the border, and it makes a little bit more sense to haul goods into the city and then have a big one in the city because there's way less travel that way. But yeah, so that was one of the things I wanted to do in this episode, was build a Chinese construction office here. We'll make that low priority though, because we want these other things to finish first. Oh, this one's done. We got this little segment of road. Let's keep this gas station up and running. That's not needed. That. Yes. Truck can get by. I want to just keep an eye on things here with the... I got some routes here that are just automatically delivering. Not using a distribution office. I just want to make sure the warehouses they're delivering to aren't filling up. But yeah, it looks okay. I've got to keep an eye. Right now, our truck that delivers gas is parked, so we just don't have enough spots here. All 4 of these all 3 of these vehicles are going non-stop, filling up the warehouses. Again, we're spending money in rubles and then using that to build stuff, and then the stuff that it makes gets sold in US dollars because we're taking on these loans and we got to pay the greedy bankers their money. And this is one way we can stay on the fiscal cliff for now. I know we bought a tower and stuff, but... Oh, it didn't get picked up. Where is it? It didn't get picked up. Okay, we gotta go find our truck again. So next time it delivers some steel. Yeah, we gotta find our... We got a deal on it, though. Oh, we were supposed to repair our truck. Okay, let's find it. Oh, here it is, right there. Oh, no, that's the other one. That's the other one. Okay, let's go find our big tower hauling truck and catch it. I imagine it's going to be bringing some steel over here. Okay, let's find this truck. You want to make sure you're getting your money's worth out of it. Okay, let's see where this guy went. Okay, he's bringing prefab. Wow. I created this route here called Canada Trader, and it automatically already picks up some free prefab. See? So this is like it was selling bricks and lumber to Canada, but it was empty on the way back. So even though I'm paying for extra in US dollars, prefab isn't as expensive. So because it's not as expensive, I figured it's better to be buying US prefab than Chinese prefab at the expense of our trucks. We really primarily just want to be bringing Chinese steel in, because that's like if you look at the price here, like 492 rubles is what we're paying. But if we were to buy it from Canada, we'd be paying $498 dollars. And we have, like, we're borrowing money just to have enough dollars. And we still have like 500,000 in rubles with no loans yet. So let's keep doing that while we can. I want to catch this truck once it gets there. It's a bit of a real-time element to this game. It's like Path of Exile, right? High twitch muscle skills here. Where is it? You know, how fast? You ever? I played Diablo. I never played Diablo 4. The reviews and the price of it was too expensive. I was like, you know what? Path of Exile. When I discovered the first Path of Exile, I'm like, there's no point in me playing Diablo 4. This is such a good game, Path of Exile. But I remember in Diablo 3, the loot goblins were a thing. Where that was an interesting mechanic. These loot goblins. And you had to be quick, though. You know, you just jump on them the moment you see them. You know, I bet you it's getting gas or something. It's the only truck that can move that tower. Unless I missed it already. Did I miss it already? Okay, let's... You know, if I wander out here... No, I couldn't have missed it. I think it's just going that slow. It can go 90 kilometers an hour, but there's a segment of road. It's going down mud road. Okay, let's go here quickly. Get rid of this grid here. It must be really close. Yeah, it's still... What's it doing? Oh, it's going to the... Okay. It recognized the track builder needed some prefab. That was something that caught me off guard. Yeah, I forgot about this. Yeah, the track builder also gets supplied by that distribution office. As soon as it's empty, we gotta put it back on its route. Soon as it's done unloading. Okay. Remember during COVID, if you ever choked on your own spit, you had to be like, oh yeah, I choked on my own spit. Right? You didn't want people to be, you know, what's wrong with you? We were all sort of paranoid of anyone who was sick. Back when we cared. Back before we realized it was all propaganda. I saw a YouTuber who basically said, you know, Uh, one of the reasons they didn't bother is because they just wanted to get rid of all the old people. That's why they didn't really do anything to stop it from spreading, or they were very slow to a lot of places very reluctantly because it saved money because rich and powerful people view uh, um, everyone else as just a burden, and therefore the decision makers. Again, this was someone else. I didn't say this. This was another. It was someone. I'd have to look in my history. It was just a comment, but you know what? It could be somewhat true. I'm not. You know, it. You think about it. It could be a reasonable, something that really happened that people just want to save some money. It's a little disturbing, but if you, uh, they say if you smoke, you're actually less of a burden to society than, at least in places where they have free healthcare. They, like in Canada, for example, cigarettes are very expensive because healthcare is free. But if you do smoke, you're actually less of a burden in Canada than if you do smoke. And the reason is because you die younger. Because otherwise, you have all those extra years of your life not working and just, spending, right? And that's why. So they get you two times. They get you pay for the smokes, and you pay extra taxes on the smokes, and you then die younger because you get some sort of disease like emphysema or cancer or something, and then you're not a burden on the system anymore. So that's why smokers are actually less expensive to maintain. I know a lot of people, like on a per hospital visit, okay, sure, but it's you'll spend a few times in the hospital from smoking, but then you don't spend, like, a lot of people don't understand that they're a burden to society. If you spend money in society and you think you're contributing, that's an abject lie. That you're just creating work for other people. That's all you're doing. You're not helping anything. Like that, if you'd have to be extremely stupid to have actually thought that. Like, no offense, maybe you're smart in other ways, but to think that spending in society for sake of spending is a good thing, think about it. Imagine your job is you build houses or something, and then someone damages houses. Would you think that person a useful person? Forcing you to have to build more houses? Like it doesn't really make sense. Okay, there's our tower crane. So yeah, that's an interesting thing I saw the other day for about a conspiracy behind COVID, why some countries were reluctant to act. So something to think about. We'll just keep going on. Oh, here's the winter. Here's the winter. We've got to keep an eye on our snowplows. I'm going to tell you a story. So I wanted to mention this last episode. A friend of mine said, talk about the story on the show. I didn't find it interesting. If it is interesting, you tell me. But so I found this magazine once. It was like this MENSA magazine. I don't know why I had it. It was just there. I am not in MENSA. I've never tried to be in MENSA. But I happen to have this magazine from MENSA. And it had a cross number puzzle in it. And I was like, well, that's like a crossword. So people can solve this. And I'm a software engineer. And I'm like, you know what? How, surely I can make a little application that could automatically solve this. So I worked on it for about 4 hours one evening. And I realized that the algorithm I was using was a form of bubble sort where it had 4 or 5 nested loops. And again, what are you going to learn in 4 or 5 hours? But in that 4 or 5 hours, I got a basic program that would theoretically be able to solve the cross number. And then I'm like, well, you smart ass dorks and your MENSA, I can just use a program to solve it. And I don't, like, how useful are you if a machine can replace you that easily? But it wasn't so easy, because upon running the calculations, and as I was debugging it, I realized there was so many combinations of calculations of guesses it had to make, that it would actually, because some of the numbers are quite long, it would take like well over 100 years for it to solve the way I solved it. And I'm like, well, how come a person can do these things, but a machine can't? And people have mush brains. Even smart people have mush brains compared to computers. Computers are much more, they're repeatable. They rarely, make mistakes with, like, they don't. There are some instances where computers do make mistakes, but 99.99999% of the time, the calculations are repeatable and accurate. Well, how come a human can do it so much faster? And then it occurred to me that because it's got to be some sort of esoteric knowledge that people who do these, there's some standard rules to it. And then I would have needed to know those rules in order to apply it to the algorithm. And then the mush brain humans would have been made obsolete pretty quickly. But anyways, that was the story. He said, share that story that the computer could not do it nearly as fast as a human. But at least I understood why, right? And then I was like, well, for me to make this work, I would actually have to invest some time in the actual algorithms that are used to solve these puzzles. And then I was like 20 years old, and I'm like, I was still in university. I was just doing it, between, just again, I was just bored one day, and I decided, I don't care that much. Who gives a crap about a cross number? What a waste of time. I haven't done the propaganda topic yet. That comes later in the episode. That's the most interesting commentary on propaganda. Well, it's not really, it's just a principle of propaganda that, many people don't really think about. It's, a form of propaganda that we're all kind of, oh, you know what? I gotta leave that truck. Yeah, we can't put the Mark truck in the Chinese distribution office because we need it to move that tower. But that's so fat, like, you know what? So we're gonna repair it real quick. This is why I don't like doing winter, because it's so much slower than summer. Everything just goes slow. And our snowplows are, what are they doing? Okay, these are some critical roads. They're not completely batshit crazy here. I said shet. I didn't swear. Batshit. That's a word. From what I understand, you shouldn't swear in your YouTube videos because it affects some sort of scoring. Oh, and that's another thing I'm testing this episode. Because I have a higher quality sounding mic, will the AI give me more impressions? Does it, like, it stands to reason it might. That higher quality sound, why would it score lower quality sound as a better video, It would be unfortunate if, someone had the best content but didn't record it optimally to be scored, I would hope it doesn't affect it too much, so long as the audio is still acceptably good, right? Okay, it's just non-stop snowing here. And our snowplows, like I guess they plow and then it just snows on top of it. Oh my god, this is awful. You got, like, I'm taking care of as many details as I can in this game. I'm treating this seriously. You know, I'm not just goofing around here with communism. Like, I think, like, I really, you know, any kind of logical analysis can tell you, anyone with a logical mind will tell you why capitalism is inferior to socialism. Anyone with a logical mind. An irrational and selfish mind would tell you otherwise. But, like, the fundamental logical reason would be that you could allow capitalism within socialism with rules. Therefore, you just take the good parts of capitalism. I did some videos on that earlier about, you know, why capitalism works, i.e. greed is real. And if you can use greed to control people, then that actually, you can't ignore that, right? But if we could control the level of greed, that has to be better. You know, greed without control versus greed with control. Greed with control has to be better because that's a superset of, you know, one's a subset, one's a superset. And therefore the superset is by definition everything the subset is plus more. It can behave exactly like capitalism if it wants to. Socialism. But the corollary cannot be true because capitalism is based on financial results and there's no human interaction in that. Therefore, it's logically inferior. And only stupid people advocate it. That's basically what it comes down to. Or self-centered people who make money off of it. I'm going to move this bus to Canada because there's so many workers not working. Keep those buses of Canadian workers cranking out those YouTube videos, smashing those like buttons, or asking for smashes of like buttons while playing video games and rambling with on a bus. I don't know. Coherent? No. Interesting? I don't know. Yeah, I think I have toxoplasmosis. You know, that's what one of the motivating factors for me to make this show, because I think I'm a little off at times, and I think in real life it's not necessarily a good thing. You know, you want to be a reliable. You know, if I was a cop or something, you know, I'd probably be the funniest cop. I'd probably be the funniest one. I probably could do some real detective work and, you know, solve some problems, do some real policing. I did campground security at a festival for many summers when I was younger. Oh, look at this, we're running out of money. But I don't know if I'd make a good cop otherwise. I just don't think I'm, you know, I think the toxoplasmosis isn't a good thing. It makes you a little unpredictable. I could probably catch some good criminals though. I could probably get into their minds better, and you know, help maybe with the tech. I'd probably be better at like an internet fraud person. Like you see those that guy who has he hacks into the security cameras of those people that rip people off in India, and then he like starts saying things about them. He figures out personal information, starts freaking out these scammers that were in India. It's a show on YouTube. Check it out. And I don't know if it's illegal what he's doing, but it's the he's definitely targeting people who are doing very illegal stuff. So you're like, well, okay, maybe that that makes sense. That would be they'd allow that on YouTube because it's like it's a revenge show. It's like people getting their upcomings for doing bad things, you know. So I think for that reason, it is an interesting show, something worth watching for a little bit. Again, I don't watch every episode of every show. I just don't. There's no entertainer out there. I'll say the most loyal I'll be is maybe 50% viewership. Well, I'll tell you, Climate Town I will watch because he only releases only every few months. It's such high quality content worthy of multi-million subscribers. Hakeem, I'll watch anything he does. Again, he doesn't release all the time. Like I release a video every day, so there's absolutely no way you've seen everything I've done at this volume of content. This is lower quality, but lots of hours recorded, more higher probability of the outlier. Like you don't do well in life if you play it safe. Like if you're gonna win a poker tournament, it's usually wise. Oh, look at this! It's usually wise to take chances sometimes. If you play it safe in a poker tournament, you won't. You'll get washed away by the blinds eventually. Sometimes there is a certain point where, like when I play poker, I play like completely unhinged at points. Once I realize I'm at that, okay, the blinds are gonna get me. I'll throw all my chips in on a moderately good hand. And that's a bit of like, I shouldn't tell that in case I ever do get on, and I probably will do an episode playing poker. But I think the people that know me know I do this. So I don't know who else would play other than people that I know. But yeah, you can play it safe. So that's why I record a lot and high volume. And it allows for the outlier randomly good video, right? So I might not have as good a quality as some of those other YouTubers, but I might just get that one gem of a moment. Just it's the diamond in the rough comment. I have a couple of interesting ones. I like that one. So far, my favorite video is me picking my nose. Well, I wasn't picking my nose. It looks like I'm picking my nose. That's why. That's my favorite video so far. Just because it's short and it's so stupid. Get that on there. Let's see if this guy finds something for this tower. Oh, see, this snow is so annoying. I don't even know if they're plowing the right roads. Yeah, I'm going to have to get some more snowplows next winter. I think there's, like, none of the good ones have come out yet. I'm still using the crappy ones. Okay, why? Don't they have stuff to do? Okay, here, I think we'll do the main topic of the show here in a moment. Yeah, let's do it. So, the topic of propaganda, and the one thing I've not talked about is astroturfing. Again, Climate Town talks about, he does a video on astroturfing. He has some like real examples of how the oil industry has astroturfed many people into believing that fossil fuels, drill baby drill's a positive thing. The truth is that oil and gas aren't as economically efficient as renewables. Like, let alone the fact the pollution they cause, right? So he basically did a presentation of some companies that have people who are advocating, the exploration of more fossil fuels. But in reality, the companies are just puppet companies created by the fossil fuel industry, and the people advocating are all made up. And that's because people are like monkey see, monkey do is a real problem in society. That's why marketing and influencers are paid so well, even if they don't really do anything useful. The problem with influencers and marketers is if you take the money just to promote something, but you don't actually consider whether you're promoting something positive or negative, you can be a part of the problem. Like if you promote things that are negative because someone paid you a bunch of money, you're part of the problem. Like frankly, don't expect any respect for stuff like that. You could be a multi-millionaire who does this, and you're not going to get respect from a lot of people because you sold your brother out for money, essentially. The power of marketing and the power of monkey see, monkey do is why astroturfing is a legitimate thing. So, yeah, astroturfing is the principle of creating a fake company and people, and they try to relate to you. So they'll, do you like barbecues? Do you like nice, warm summer days? Do you like all these things? Well, if you do, then you also should encourage more fossil fuel exploration, or you should smoke cigarettes. Like this astroturfing has been happening for a long time. Like Bernays famously got like there was a time when women were not. It was considered not socially acceptable for women to smoke. So Edward Bernays, again, both a pioneer and a scumbag. Okay. He was given lots of money to convince women to smoke, basically. So he took a portion of that money and he paid some models to hang out in New York City in the latest fashions, and they would smoke, and he would film them and take pictures of them smoking, put it in magazines, and it was just he only had to pay them like for 1 or 2 days of doing this. This wasn't like it's not like the models even made terribly much out of this. Had they known what they were a part of, they might have said no to it. Because essentially, he used these models to convince all women that it's glamorous to smoke and you should smoke too, and it worked. It worked. It was these women were not naturally smoking. In the streets in New York, they were given the cigarettes and they were instructed what to do. It wasn't like they were like, yeah, why I should be able to smoke whenever I want. That was all made up. That was all astroturfing. There was who on earth would say like this is you got to realize this was a time when women didn't smoke. But don't get me wrong, the ability of these marketers and the selective bias they have with the information they can present you, it could work. Like it's just people are monkey see, monkey do. And that's why astroturfing is a problem. And who can afford to astroturf, right? It's always big companies. It's always old money that's the problem. These companies that they don't give a crap whether it's true or not or useful to you. They just want to make more money off you. That's exactly what they're, that's why they're rich in the first place, because you're gullible. You're just a monkey that follows the directions of rich people, essentially. And, that's why you get into certain hobbies and whatnot, and you have various things you like, is because at some point you are astroturfed, and once you're astroturfed, you're committed to it, right? Like it could be something as innocuous as, I don't know, hang gliding or something. Now let's think about hang gliding. What use is hang gliding? Like why do it? Like how does it help you? You know, maybe 1 in a million people once in their lifetime might be in a situation they're on a cliff. And they're like, oh my God, thank God I can go jump off with my hang gliding device here. But for all intents and purposes, you were that would have been something that would have astroturfed you, where there'd be some people doing it. They were filmed. You watched them do it. You thought it was cool. They told you it was cool, and then you're financially committed to it. And then maybe later you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm this hobby, and this applies to hundreds, if not thousands, of hobbies. And then you're like, well, I've spent all this money, and now I don't even want to do it anymore. You know, as you age and you get new hobbies, you're like, what do I do with it? Sell it? I guess so. But the industry was astroturfed. It was done by a series of early, and there has to be a certain natural amount of interest in something for it to be astroturfed. It doesn't, and the other thing about astroturfing, it doesn't necessarily help you in any way. It's a principle of capitalism in that rather than analyzing things on normal uh, actual value, it's always analyzed on how much money can be made, right? Are measured by income, not efficiency, and that results in a poor economy, right? As we all know, right? What is the economy? It's efficiency times scale. It has nothing to do with money intake. Money is irrelevant. It's a byproduct of a good economy. You know, when you sell someone a bunch of hang gliding equipment, you deprive them of that money that they could have spent on a machine that built products, right? Like when you spend that money on machinery that produces like goods, like food or housing or quicker transportation, so be it. But again, one must consider the fun aspect. Like I can't say that it's people, like if you're hang gliding, you're probably enjoying it. At least when you first do it, you probably get an adrenaline rush. Maybe it's a regular thing you do, but you're not contributing to the economy when you're doing that. That's like any kind of entertainment or any kind of anything that you do to make yourself enjoy things better. That's not a net positive for society. That's actually a net negative because you could be doing something else to help people in theory. I suppose you're not necessarily harming people that much, but you are making people do jobs to make your equipment instead of making stuff other people need. So you are harming society a little bit. You legitimately are. Maybe not a big deal, but it is a side effect. And if again, you were probably astroturfed into it, but again, that's about how just what everything gets done nowadays. Is this principle of astroturfing, and it's almost exclusively done by rich and powerful groups of people. Like it can even just be, if you're a popular kid in school and you're dumb, you're the dumb popular kid. And usually, the most popular kid isn't the smartest kid. So it's because you relate best, right? Because that's partly why you're popular. You should maybe be a little bit more careful on what kind of things you try to promote, because you can astroturf people into hobbies and then you're stuck with the consequences, right? Everything, it's the butterfly effect, right? Everything's interconnected. All my snowplows are really doing a crummy job here. I think I'm going to... Like, this isn't a bad one, I guess. Like, they can use this route, but are they actually driving that way? Like, they're driving this way. Like, I could use another snowplow, to be honest. Okay, what is this here? See, this... I'm not... It's like they don't listen to any of the rules. I swear to God. Like, it's instructed not to go that way. like onto the mud roads, but it still seems to be plowing on the mud roads. Let's get rid of pretty much all that. None of this here. Every little bit counts. They're so stupid, the snowplows. It's kind of like real life snowplows. I swear to God, there's some people that plow snows in my city. They, you know, they make it worse. Like I'll have my back lane all shoveled out, and then they'll come and cover it up. I think it's called a windrow or something like that. And make it like, I'd rather have just left the road unplowed. And then when it's absolutely needed, they're nowhere to be found for a month. And then there's sometimes when the snow is like pretty much, you know, it's going to melt anyways, but they come and plow it anyways. It's like, what? I don't know what the thinking is behind these guys. I don't think I guess they like plowing snow is what it comes down to. But I think a better solution would be heated roads. I think that's the future. When we have automatic cars driving us around. The people in this game drive me insane. Or the Sims. They do crazy things. Oh, what's this? Oh, nice. Plowing the mud road and not plowing anything else. Huh. Like we just built this brand new asphalt highway and they don't plow it. They instead plow the mud road, which, and this definitely has to go there. Yes, yes. Do this here. Okay, okay. So now it should plow that. I'm thinking once we get the city with like a sports facility, a church, a mall, obviously, hospital, sewer, water, electricity, school, a kindergarten. Okay, see, check it out. See, look, they're getting built. Wow, the school's really cranking. It's too bad it doesn't have a construction tower. And let's make sure, let's see if we can catch that tower again. Get that tower somewhere useful. Now it's just grabbing some wood. Oh, we're just super short on open hull trucks. Like they're all being used. I think maybe we could grab one from China. I don't know if we have too much need for it. Yeah, we have a super shortage of them. Oh, but that tower needs to get into action. Yeah, these guys, they're not working. Can I send one of these guys? I should. Let's do some repairs. Like this one needs repair. Holy crap, this guy's in bad condition. Yeah, I'm just gonna park him. Like this guy shouldn't be getting used. Anything over 70%, you kind of want to, unless it's, like we're really short on oil tankers. Oh, ran out of money. I got too distracted here. Okay, they found something to do though. Oh yeah, and this little guy, this guy's gonna be useful. Actually, this guy might make sense. Once we're built our other construction office here, yeah, we might send him over there because he can go 90 kilometers an hour, right? And I think given our high-speed highways here, it'd make sense out here. He doesn't have much steel to deliver either. Again, we haven't done winter in a while. This is probably why. It's a bit of a test to see if it's just everything happens so slow in winter. Maybe it's visually interesting, you know? Like, what's that zone in World of Warcraft when there's a new island you discover. It's like winter all the time. It's kind of like that. It's a bit of a theme. I saw in I see in some games that cold like does damage to you. Like but other games it's just nothing. It's just white. I saw a video the other day of I've seen a few of these out there of polar bears where like people are like taking care of a polar bear. They're cleaning it and stuff, and then they're like petting it after, and it's like just standing there and getting petted. And I'm like, this like it's obviously CGI, right? Like polar bears, even in a zoo, you will not ever be able to pet. They naturally will, you know, they eat humans. Okay, for you to think that you could just they could clean it off, like it was in a natural setting too, like this vehicle went up to it and it cleaned it off, and then it showed the crew of the vehicle petting the polar bear after. I'm like, if you shared this video to certain communities that live like near polar bears, you're gonna get people killed. Like, or if a tourist were to watch that and then go see a polar bear, like it would be the same as if you showed a tiger in India, like in the forests they have, and showed like pictures of kids riding on the back of it, and then shared those. Imagine sharing those videos to people in India and letting kids see that. Oh, you can ride on tigers, right? It's just so stupid. Why would you be that ignorant to like, Coca-Cola has done probably caught, with their polar bears drinking Coca-Cola. These are the most brutal predators on Earth. They don't eat any vegetables. They only eat other living things. Every single like action they do involves some sort of cunning plot to eat another living thing. And humans are on that list. And this idea that, oh yeah, you just pet the bears. Like, they're not sociable animals. They can't even hang out with other polar bears. They're like tigers too. They're just pure predators. They don't cooperate in anything. They eat each other. Like, they're cannibals too. It's not it's just so misleading. And they're making there's numerous ones out there. They're on YouTube, they're on Facebook, of these AI generated polar bear encounters where like they're just happy, positive things. Like, are these people? They're either psychopaths that make it, or maybe they're just ignorant. Like, they don't realize that, that if you convince people you can do this around a polar bear, that's not a good thing. So it's just crazy that such videos exist. Oh, here's an idea for the game developers of Soviet Republic. Here's an idea for a difficulty setting in realistic mode. So I don't know if one of the big challenges in this game here is it's like there's a lot of challenges to this realistic mode, but one of the an interesting setting they could consider for their expansion, right, for the next version, the one in China, of course, is market price setting in the simulation from impossible to easy. And what that would do is replicate the greediness of like private individuals who try to make money as middlemen. So the more capitalist it is or not. So what it would mean is when you do the pricing of goods, see here, if you sell things, I believe that's the sell price. But if you buy things, there's like a different price. Like I know with electricity, it seems to be like, if you look here, right now we got it set to 0. But if we purchase electricity, we pay 68 cents. But if we sell it, we only get 62. So that could be a setting in the game, the margins, like the buy versus sell margin. And it could scale from impossible to easy, right? Where, you could literally, in theory, be buying from one market and just selling directly to the other and maybe make money. And then it's just the only challenge is, the getting the good moved and the scale of it. But maybe to the more like, I don't know if the prices vary based on how, like oversupply, like over demand and oversupply. Like let's say the only thing I produce is one good and it's the only thing I sell. You would think the price would go down over time in a real simulation, right? Likewise, if I'm not buying a certain thing for a while, it could also go down because I'm not. They got to bring their prices down in order to compete with what I am buying, right? So that kind of modeling, I don't know exactly how that works, but the margin itself could be a setting when configuring these sandbox games. So just a suggestion when choosing your setup. All it has to do is really just a price setting. Like it could even just be like the scale of these numbers, right? Because if these numbers get too low and you're converting people's time into money by selling things, but they can't sell things that easily, that makes it more challenging. So maybe there's people who can win on realistic mode all the time, and if they want to challenge, they could go to the more difficult market setting. And those of us who are kind of new to the realistic mode, maybe start with easy, so that at least we can, make some profit and not have a bunch of, private businesses taking the money out of the system. So just an idea for a setting. We had a horrible start to this world, right? Where our church, oh my God, this guy's about to blow up. This guy's about to blow up. I don't know what happens if he stalls again and he has oil on him. Yeah. Keep an eye on that. Like he'll probably just be stopped in the middle of the road. That's all I know. He didn't make it. But yeah, I think we should come up with some final decisions on roads here. I'm almost thinking no roads at all in this block. And then we just do a high-speed walking path. And maybe, so they can walk along this path here. I like this path here. I think I'm going to asphalt it. Asphalt it shortly. Maybe wait till the asphalt machine's working. Some of these are already being asphalted even without the asphalt machine. Because getting to the church is a big deal. Like, we want the range of this church. We want asphalt paths in all directions. And we definitely want to have asphalt paths very close to it. Like, this whole central core needs to be in walking distance of all the apartment buildings. We want people to live in the city, okay? This is what, episode 18? And the city's still empty. It still hasn't even begun getting built. Like, we got to give them all these services before they'll live in it. But for some reason, you go to, again, I'll do this just to remind you. Again, this is background noise at this point. I mustn't ever forget to say background noise an episode. How else is this series going to be a background noise for people if it doesn't, if the algorithm doesn't pick that up? You check this out here. Look at this. They have nothing in Chicago. Nothing. They just got this church. And they happily live here. Now, granted, we don't have the church in Los Angeles because it got destroyed, but San Francisco has a church. And everyone left here too. It's like, as soon as we built like one gas station, it did something to the atmosphere that, I don't know. basically don't want to live there. They just immediately leave. They'd rather have nothing than some amenities. Like they're not being rational, these people. Because I'm slightly older, I don't want to review movies that were made like more recently, because like thousands of people have done that. But the older stuff's starting to get a little bit more forgotten. Some of the good older stuff. So I'm going to review those kind of movies. Unless I see something really like for example, Tenet. I didn't like that. I thought it insisted itself. I thought Memento was better than Tenet, and that I thought Tenet was a ripoff of Memento. Like he was like the same movie, but with way more money. And I don't think money made it any better. Sometimes the better your special effects, the better your audio. It's not necessarily a better show. So we'll see how this one turned out. Again, this episode of this is the same microphone as every other episode. That's the name of this episode. Unless I think of a different name. Sometimes I changed my mind when editing what to call it. But given the sound is totally different here, it's a bit of a warning too, because if you're used to a certain gain and then suddenly it's different, I hope it's not too quiet either, and I hope there's not too much cutouts. I won't know until I listen to it. So with that in mind, I guess we'll call it an episode. We're almost near. We're a few weeks from census. I'll play a little bit here offline. This bloody snow. I need some snowplows for next winter. Because I'm not even showing you doing them. Showing the snowplows working properly. There's too many bloody roads and they're going all over the place. And there's too many zones, I guess. And it's just snowing too much. But not as rant-filled an episode, but a higher tech episode, a leveled up stream, I guess, with better audio. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next episode.